Iron Joe.
Welcome to the Fight of the Week. I'm Don Dunphy, your ringside commentator. Two glamorous, power-punching young heavyweights provide the action as unbeaten Cassius Clay of Louisville meets Sonny Banks of Detroit in the 10-round feature at Madison Square Garden. The bout originally scheduled for tonight between Eddie Machen and Cleveland Williams was postponed because of a training injury to Machen. Cassius Marcellus Clay is but 20 years old, but he's making a strong imprint on the sport of pugilism. As an amateur in 1960, he won the AAU light heavyweight, the Golden Gloves heavyweight, and the Olympic light heavyweight crowns. As a professional, he has won all 10 bouts, scoring 7 knockouts. Lucian Sonny Banks is 21 years old. Till now, he hasn't been as spectacular as Clay, but he may pack more power in a single punch. In 12 starts, Banks has won 10, scoring 9 knockouts. He was stopped by Joe Shelton, whom he KO'd later, and outpointed in a 5-rounder by Chuck Garrett. That last was a year ago. Since then, Banks has scored 5 straight knockouts, all in 5 rounds or less. Banks is 6'2", while Clay is 6'2½". At the commission weigh-in today, Clay scaled 194½, while Banks was 191¼ In just a moment, we'll bring you the 10-round heavyweight fight between Cassius Clay and Sonny Banks. All ready to go here at Madison Square Garden, and our ring announcer, Johnny Addy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 2 very good boxing shows in New York next week. At the St. Nicholas Arena Monday night, lightweights Jackie Kelly and Joey Donovan meet in a 10-rounder. And 1 week from tonight, here at Madison Square Garden, return bout, former welterweight and middleweight champion Sugar Ray Robinson will meet Denny Moyer, the feature attraction of 10 rounds. Now, here are the ring officials assigned by the New York State Athletic Commission. The judges, Frank Forbes, Joe Agnello, timekeeper George Bannon, counting for the knockdowns, Johnny Colan. Your referee for the main event, Ruby Goldstein. From Louisville, Kentucky, wearing white trunks, weighing 194½ pounds, the former Olympic champion and undefeated as a professional, Cassius Clay. His opponent, from Detroit, Michigan, wearing black trunks, he weighs 191¼ pounds, Sonny Banks. Main event, 10 rounds.
Is there any question or questions either one of you boys would like to ask about the rules of New York State? Do you feel you know about the mandatory 8 count? You know that when a man gets knocked down, he must take the mandatory count of 8, and the other man goes to a neutral corner, remains there till I tell him. You know everything, don't you? We shake hands now, not when you come out, and good luck to both of you.
Scoring here in New York is on a rounds basis with a supplementary point system. If the rounds come out even on an official's card, we have a mandatory 8 count, as Ruby told you, and a 3 knockdown rule. A man floored 3 times in a round is out for good. Round 1, 10 rounds scheduled. Clay in the white trunks and Banks in black. If Banks does anything, it's figured to be early. He's a power puncher early in a fight. Clay is the most loquacious heavyweight since Jack Sharkey. He's ranked 9th by Ring Magazine. Banks is unranked. Banks' power mostly is in his right hand. Banks, by the way, making his first appearance on national TV. Clay has been on television twice. Clay has dazzling speed of hands and feet when he opens up. Banks is trying to reach him good with that right hand. Banks is reputed to have quick hands, like Floyd Patterson. I say reputed to. We were seeing him for the first time ourselves. Ruby Goldstein, the referee. There goes Clay on the floor. He's got to take the mandatory 8 count. There's the mandatory 8 count. 1 minute to go in round 1. Boys are punchers. Don't turn away. Less than half a minute to go in the round. Seconds to go in round 1. There's the bell. First time that Cassius Clay was ever down. So he gets in there with great fighters like Marciano and Lewis, who also were down occasionally, but were great nevertheless. Banks came here to fight. So did Clay. He knows he can take no chances now with either hand of Banks. Less than 2 minutes to go in round 2. Fighters who come out of a crouch, as Banks is on occasion tonight, have caused confusion to many great fighters. Clay can't be classified as a great fighter as yet. Let's see if they count that a knockdown. No. Banks was bothered by that punch, but Ruby Goldstein ruled it no knockdown. Now he hurt Clay again. Banks apparently has power in either hand. A minute to go in round 2. Everybody's been looking for Banks' right hand. It's the left hand that he's causing the trouble with. There goes Banks down. That's a knockdown, all right. A flash knockdown, just like the one that floored Clay in round 1. Mandatory 8 count. Now the knockdowns are even. 15 seconds to go in the round. Over. There's the bell. Let's go back to the corner of Cassius Clay of Louisville. And in that corner, we see his trainer taking the mouthpiece out. That'd be Angelo Dundee. On the right-hand side, leading in, the veteran Nick Florio of the Florio brothers, and just coming into the picture, the very fine trainer and co-manager of Emil Griffith, the former welterweight champion Gil Clancy, who's now putting a little Vaseline on the face of Cassius Clay. Meanwhile, over on the other side of the ring, we have Lucian Sonny Banks of Detroit, and facing him in dead center of the ring is trainer Ted McWhorter. Leaning in from the right-hand side, the veteran Harry Wiley, who has been a trainer of Ray Robinson for some 22 years, and rubbing the arms of former fine heavyweight from Detroit, Johnny Summerlin. Summerlin's on the left. Scoring one knockdown. Is round 3. And both have shown inexperience at times. Clay's had only 10 professional fights, and Banks has had 12. Clay's leaving his hands a little bit low. That's understandable when Banks fights out of a crouch. Clay seems to be coming on a little bit. That's a long, sharp jab that Clay has. Turns it into a left hook on occasion. 2 minutes left in this round. Banks has suddenly become a mark for head punching. The man yelling "stay in there" is Bill Faversham, one of 11 Louisville businessmen who managed Cassius Clay. One minute to go in round 3. Banks was roughed by that left hook. And he's getting roughed a little more. Banks is in real trouble. But he can punch it back yet. 30 seconds left in the round. Ten seconds to go in round 3. Hold everything. Ruby Goldstein is asking the commission physician, Dr. Alexander Schiff, to come in and take a look at Sonny Banks, who had took quite a going over from Cassius Clay in the last round. And let's see whether or not the doctor recommends that the bout be allowed to continue. Apparently, he told Ruby Goldstein to allow it to continue up to a point, to use his own good judgment. Banks was in real trouble, and the ropes kept him from being floored a couple of times in round 3. Banks scored a knockdown in the first round, having Clay down with a good punch, and then Clay floored him in the second round, but the third round was all Clay, and Banks was in real trouble. A warning buzzer is sounded for round 4. Black trunks. Round 4. Goldstein is stopping the fight. That's all. Sonny Banks wants to continue. Only a few seconds had elapsed here in the fourth round. A knockout for Cassius Clay, coming from behind after being floored in the first round. Here's Johnny Addy.
Referee stops the bout. The time, 26 seconds of the fourth round. Winner by a TKO, Cassius Clay.
There goes Cassius Clay across the ring to commiserate with game Sonny Banks, who came close to glory when he had Clay on the floor in the first round, but Clay was just too good.
I knew that night there was greatness in Muhammad Ali because he got in there with a perfect left hook coming in, got knocked down. He was out on the way down. He woke up once his backside hit that canvas, got up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. That's when I knew I had a guy with greatness, because remarkable how he survived that one punch.
Yes, that was my first time knocked down as a professional, and I had to get up to take care of things after that because it was rather embarrassing me on the floor. And as you know, I think that I'm the greatest, and I'm not supposed to be on the floor, so I had to get up and put him on out in 4, as I predicted.
Since then, Banks has scored 5 straight knockouts, all in 5 rounds or less. Banks is 6'2", while Clay is 6'2½". At the commission weigh-in today, Clay scaled 194½, while Banks was 191¼ In just a moment, we'll bring you the 10-round heavyweight fight between Cassius Clay and Sonny Banks. All ready to go here at Madison Square Garden, and our ring announcer, Johnny Addy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 2 very good boxing shows in New York next week. At the St. Nicholas Arena Monday night, lightweights, Jackie Kelly and Joey Donovan meet in a 10-rounder. And 1 week from tonight, here at Madison Square Garden, return bout, former welterweight and middleweight champion Sugar Ray Robinson will meet Denny Moyer, the feature attraction of 10 rounds. Now, here are the ring officials assigned by the New York State Athletic Commission. The judges, Frank Forbes, Joe Agnello, timekeeper George Bannon, counting for the knockdowns Johnny Colan, your referee for the main event, Ruby Goldstein. From Louisville, Kentucky, wearing white trunks, weighing 194.5 pounds, the former Olympic champion and undefeated as a professional, Cassius Clay. His opponent from Detroit, Michigan, wearing black trunks, he weighs 191¼ pounds, Sonny Banks. Main event, 10 rounds.
Is there any question or questions either one of you boys would like to ask about the rules of New York State? Do you feel you know about the mandatory 8 count? You know that when a man gets knocked down, he must take the mandatory count of 8, and the other man goes to a neutral corner, remains there till I tell him. You know everything. We shake hands now, not when you come out, and good luck to both of you.
Scoring here in New York is on a rounds basis with a supplementary point system. If the rounds come out even on an official's card, we have a mandatory 8 count, as Ruby told you, and a 3 knockdown rule. A man floored 3 times in a round is out for good. Round 1, 10 rounds scheduled. Clay in the white trunks and Banks in black. If Banks does anything, it's figured to be early. He's a power puncher early in a fight. Clay is the most loquacious heavyweight since Jack Sharkey. He's ranked 9th by Ring Magazine. Banks is unranked. Banks' power mostly is in his right hand.
After watching Mike Dijon and Eddie Mason the other night, I would rate myself about number 2 now. I'm out to break Floyd Patterson's record. And by this being my 20th birthday today, January the 17th, that leaves me exactly 1 year to reach my goal.
He might be big and he might be tall, but if he mess with me, he sure will fall.
Gaining self-confidence, Clay starts predicting the round his opponents will fall.
That he's going to knock him out in 4, he did it. He's going to knock him out in 5, he did it. 7, he did it.
Well, I'm sure any heavyweight that follows me in the ring for 6 or 7 rounds, he's mine after that, if he's still standing.
Till he met Gorgeous George in Las Vegas.
I saw a wrestler once named Gorgeous George, and the place was jam-packed with people. Cars was lined up for miles. They hated Gorgeous George. They wanted him beat, but they paid $100 for a ringside seat. So Gorgeous George walked out with his pretty silver hair, and he was walking so proud, and people was woo, throwing popcorn at him. He said, you bums. He was hollering at the fans. I don't care nothing about you.
And like, I can't lose. If I lose, I'll cut all my blonde locks in the ring.
Look at my beautiful blonde hair. If he mess up this hair, I'll kill him. I'll annihilate the bum.
But I can't lose. I'm the greatest.
So I got this from Gorgeous George. I said, this is a good idea. Look, he's getting rich. So I start talking. I am the greatest. I cannot be beat. I'm too pretty to be a fighter. I am the greatest.
Cassius Clay, Sonny Banks. Very tough fight. A nothing to win kind of a fight. The media didn't know him. I knew the guy was a great left hooker. I warned Muhammad about him being a converted southpaw. He didn't listen too good because he got nailed with a perfect left hook.
Young Clay already has many of his signature skills. The jitterbug footwork, the stinging jab, the machine gun flurries of punches, the uncanny knack for dodging blows. But against Sonny Banks, he shows off one more gift, an iron jaw.
Welcome to the fight of the week. I'm Don Dunphy, your ringside commentator. 2 glamorous, power-punching young heavyweights provide the action as unbeaten Cassius Clay of Louisville meets Sonny Banks of Detroit in the 10-round feature at Madison Square Garden. The bout originally scheduled for tonight between Eddie Machen and Cleveland Williams was postponed because of a training injury to Machen. Cassius Marcellus Clay is but 20 years old, but he's making a strong imprint on the sport of pugilism. As an amateur in 1960, he won the AAU light heavyweight, the Golden Gloves heavyweight, and the Olympic light heavyweight crowns. As a professional, he has won all 10 bouts, scoring 7 knockouts. Lucian Sonny Banks is 21 years old. Till now, he hasn't been as spectacular as Clay, but he may pack more power in a single punch. In 12 starts, Banks has won 10, scoring 9 knockouts. He was stopped by Joe Shelton, whom he KO'd later, and outpointed in a 5-rounder by Chuck Garrett. That last was a year ago. Detroit, Johnny Summerlin. Summerlin's on the left. Scoring 1 knockdown. Is round 3. And both have shown inexperience at times. Clay's had only 10 professional fights, and Banks has had 12. Clay's leaving his hands a little bit low. That's understandable when Banks fights out of a crouch. Clay seems to be coming on a little bit. That's a long, sharp jab that Clay has. Turns it into a left hook on occasion. 2 minutes left in this round. Banks has suddenly become a mark for head punching. The man yelling stay in there is Bill Faversham, one of 11 Louisville businessmen who managed Cassius Clay. 1 minute to go in round 3. Banks was roughed by that left hook. And he's getting roughed a little more. Banks is in real trouble. But he can punch back yet. 30 seconds left in the round. Seconds to go in round 3. Hold everything, hold everything. Banks, by the way, making his first appearance on national TV. Clay has been on television twice. Clay has dazzling speed of hands and feet when he opens up. Banks is trying to reach him good with that right hand. Banks is reputed to have quick hands, like Floyd Patterson. I say reputed to. We were seeing him for the first time ourselves. Ruby Goldstein, the referee. Take the mandatory 8 count. There's the mandatory 8 count. 1 minute to go in round 1. These boys are punchers. Don't turn away. Less than half a minute to go in the round. Seconds to go in round 1. There's the bell. First time that Cassius Clay was ever down. So he gets in there with great fighters like Marciano and Lewis, who also were down occasionally, but were great nevertheless. Banks came here to fight. So did Clay. Clay knows he can take no chances now with either hand of Banks. Less than 2 minutes to go in round 2. Fighters fighters who come out of a crouch, as Banks is on occasion tonight, have caused confusion to many great fighters. Well, Clay can't be classified as a great fighter as yet. Let's see if they count that a knockdown. No. Banks was bothered by that punch, but Ruby Goldstein ruled it no knockdown. Now he hurt Clay again. Banks apparently has power in either hand. A minute to go in round 2. Everybody's been looking for Banks' right hand. It's the left hand that he's causing the trouble with. There goes Banks down. That's a knockdown, all right. A flash knockdown, just like the one that floored Clay in round 1. Mandatory 8 count. Now the knockdowns are even. 15 seconds to go in the round. Over. There's the bell. Let's go back to the corner of Cassius Clay of Louisville. And in that corner, we see his trainer taking the mouthpiece out. That'd be Angelo Dundee. On the right-hand side, leading in the veteran Nick Florio of the Florio brothers. And just coming into the picture, the very fine trainer and co-manager of Emil Griffith, the former welterweight champion, Gil Clancy, who's now putting a little Vaseline on the face of Cassius Clay. Meanwhile, over on the other side of the ring, we have Lucian Sonny Banks of Detroit. And facing him, dead center of the ring, is trainer Ted McWhorter. Leaning in from the right-hand side, the veteran Harry Wiley, who has been a trainer of Ray Robinson for some...
The Fight of the Week, your Saturday night cavalcade of sports feature.
Welcome to the Fight of the Week. I'm Don Dunphy, your ringside commentator. Unbeaten heavyweights take over this evening as Cassius Clay of Louisville meets Billy Daniels of New York City in the 10-round feature bout at the St. Nicholas Arena. The 20-year-old Clay is a former Olympic light heavy, National AAU light heavy, and Golden Gloves heavyweight champion. As a professional, Clay has won his 13 bouts, 10 by knockouts, the last 5 in a row. The ebullient Kentuckian is given to predictions on his bouts, and up to now has made them good. To quote a contemporary on the boxing beat, the 25-year-old Billy Daniels is even more undefeated than Clay, having won 16 in a row while scoring 7 knockouts. However, unlike Clay, this is Billy's first main event on national television. He's a good two-fisted battler. These are big heavyweights, Daniels being 6'4", while Clay is an inch shorter. At the New York Commission weigh-in today, Clay was 196, while Daniels came in at 189. In just a moment, we'll bring you the 10-round heavyweight fight between Cassius Clay and Billy Daniels.
From St. Albans, Long Island, wearing black trunks, weighing 189, Billy Daniels. His opponent from Louisville, Kentucky, wearing white trunks, weighing 196, Cassius Clay. Main event, 10 rounds.
Cassius gets a mixed reception. Here's McCon.
All right, listen carefully, Billy and Cassius. Keep both hands free at all times when you're punching. Do not hold with one hand and hit with the other. Is that clear? When I see you locked in a clinch, I'm going to tell you to break. I want both of you to stop punching immediately and each take a step back. Be careful of your fouls. If you get knocked down, you have to take an 8 count. Shake hands now. Come out boxing clean. Good luck. Hi, Boots.
There's also a 3 knockdown rule. A man floored 3 times in 1 round is considered out. Scoring here in New York on a rounds basis with a supplementary point system if the rounds come out even on an official's card. Both are undefeated. Forcing the action, Billy Daniels, the black trunks. Cassius Clay in white. Daniels, a good two-fisted battler. Figures to force the action. Clay has tremendously fast hands. The speed of his hands have been compared to that of champion Floyd Patterson. Clay figures to double and triple jab. He'll stick that left out whenever he can and backpedal whenever he can. It's risky business going around with your hands dangling at your sides, as Cassius says, but I guess he knows what he's doing. It's a hot night in New York. The thermometer hit 99 this afternoon. Cooled off a little, but not a great deal, so it's pretty warm here in the St. Nick's under these ring lights. Bout is scheduled for 10 rounds. They're wearing 8-ounce gloves. Mark Kahn, the referee, a good one. One minute to go in round one. Billy Daniels, the black trunks, Cassius Clay in white. Big, big heavyweights. Seconds to go in round one. There's the bell. Here's round four. Daniels, the black trunks, Clay, the white trunks. Mark Kahn, the referee. Good fight so far. Scheduled for 10 rounds. Clay's got the hands up a little higher now. He's looking for an opening for his right hand. Daniels cut over the left eye again. Has developed another cut near the left eye, as if things weren't tough enough for him, but he's battling gamely in there. There's the bell ending round 4. And the commissioned doctor, Dr. Samuel Swetnick, is coming up into the corner of Billy Daniels once again. The crowd wants him to get out of there, however. He's talking to Mark Kahn, the referee, and apparently saying it's all right for the moment. Now here's something of interest to all sports fans. Every week, America's #1 network for sports. Coming up to round 5 in the old St. Nicholas Arena. Billy Daniels, the black trunks, in jeopardy because of that cut left eye. Cassius Clay in the white trunks, both undefeated. Daniels having won 16, Clay 13. Daniels has kept things even with that solid right-hand punch to the head. There have been no knockdowns. Daniels has hurt Clay a couple of times in this round, as you saw. But Daniels is bleeding from around the left eye again. And now the blood is starting to bother Daniels. 10 seconds to go in round 5. Now hold everything, hold everything. Hold everything. There's the bell ending round 5. And they've got a lot of work to do over in Daniels' corner. Freddie Brown working on the eye. The commissioned doctor has not come up into the ring right now, however. And the corner is working on it. Incidentally, this is the last televised fight ever from the St. Nicholas Arena. The old building is going to be torn down in the near future. It was open for fighting back in 1906. And in the future, it will be an ABC television center. There will be 2 Monday night fights here, 2 nights from now and again the following Monday, and that will ring down the curtain on sports activities here in the old St. Nicholas Arena, at least for boxing. Round 5 has gone by here with Billy Daniels and the black trunks and Cassius Clay in the white. given a tremendously good account of himself here tonight. Daniels is trying to show that Cassius has feet of clay. It's questionable whether the bout can continue, though, because of the condition of Daniels' left eye. He has cuts around it, over it and around it. Round 6 of a 10-rounder. 1 minute to go in round 6. Seconds to go in round 6. There's the bell. 7 here in the old St. Nicholas Arena. Cassius Clay of Louisville in the white trunks weighing 196. Billy Daniels of New York, the black trunks 189. Daniels has given an impressive performance so far. Clay got off winging in the first 2 rounds, but big punches by Daniels have taken charge since then. Daniels fighting with the handicap of a cuts around his left eye, several of them. Both heavyweights undefeated. It's hot here. I told you earlier it was 99 here at one time in New York today. There have been no knockdowns. Starting to come back a little bit now. 1 minute to go in round 7. That's all. Mark Kahn is stopping it. Julie Isaacson is protesting furiously. Big Julie is the manager of Billy Daniels, and Cassius Clay is the victor on a TKO here in the 7th round. What could have been an upset had it gone to 10 rounds. Clay entered the ring a favorite. I imagine this calls for a rematch. Here's Johnny.
The time is 2 minutes and 21 seconds of the 7th round. The referees
greets the verdict with mingled emotions. And it's a tough break for Billy Daniels, who fought a tremendous fight. There's no question about that. There's Cassius, and there's Daniels right to his right, or to his left, rather. And Big Julie is still protesting. This fighter had a chance of winning a big bout here. That is the first loss on the escutcheon of Billy Daniels. And Clay continues undefeated, having won 14 in a row now. Daniels has won 16 and lost 1 by a TKO.
Well, I realize that Archie's a great fighter. Archie is a great old fighter. But Archie Moore is going around popping off, and he's inventing a lip buttoner for me. See, I've earned a reputation as the Louisville lip. Well, since he's going to invent a punch called the lip buttoner, and I'm the one who usually does the popping off, but he's starting, so I cut this from 8 rounds to 4 rounds.
That was before they saw Cassius Clay. Cassius has been saying, originally when the fight was signed, he was in Louisville, Kentucky. Archie Moore was at a press conference here in Los Angeles. Cassius was on the phone, an amplified telephone speaker, and Archie made a few flippant cracks to him, and Clay said from Louisville, well, Archie, old man, I was going to let you go 8 tonight, the night of our fight, that is, but now I'm going to cut it to 4 rounds. And repeatedly during the ensuing weeks, Clay has boasted that Moore would be stopped in 4 tonight. And actually, Clay has had a pretty good record, too, of predicting. He has predicted knockouts, the exact round, in 10 of his 12 knockout fights. Time now for our national anthem. So let's go up to the ring and Jimmy Lennon. From the Los Angeles Sports Arena, Smith Reiner Promotions proudly present the 12-round World's Heavyweight Title Elimination Bout, promoted by the Olympic Boxing Club. Cal Eaton promoter, George Parnassus matchmaker. Tonight, Archie Moore of San Diego, California, meets Cassius Clay of Louisville, Kentucky. So we're all ready for the big one, as Moore and Clay will be coming into the ring momentarily. Archie Moore, weighing 197.5 tonight, surprised many a local boxing writer, for he had appeared trimmer and fitter than they had seen him in one time. Undeniably, Archie has trained hard and strenuously for this fight. They were expecting him to go maybe even 190 that low, maybe 192. But in coming in at 197.5 tonight, he shocked a lot of experts. Meanwhile, Clay's weight of 204, while the heaviest of his career, was no surprise at all, for Cassius at 20 is still a growing boy. He's still getting bigger. And I would gather from the boos that Cassius Clay, yes, is coming into the ring. Cassius boasting and his cockiness here, and I'm sure he asked for it, for the build-up to the fight, and he is just loving these boos, for that was his plan, to get the people interested, to get them curious, to boo him, and come out and see him. Well, his job has been well done tonight, for there are very, very few vacant seats right now here in the sports arena in Los Angeles. Cassius in a white silk bathrobe, black belt, red trim around the collar and the cuffs, and red boxing gloves. Right now, Archie Moore. In your theater, but I can see, and you can see right here, who is the sentimental favorite tonight. Archie Moore, the old mongoose of boxing. At least 45 years old. has his mustache. He has the gray around the fringes along his temples, dyed a neat black tonight. He stands 5'11". Cassius Clay is 6'3". So Moore will not only be giving away 7 pounds, 197 to 204, but 4 inches in height and at least 25 years in age. I think one of the dramatic highlights tonight will be round number 4. Presuming it goes that far, for Clay has put himself squarely on the spot, and this is not a gimmick. He has done it before here. He said he would knock out George Logan in 4 rounds earlier this year in the sports arena. He did it in 4. He said before the fight he would knock out Alejandro Lavarante in 5. He knocked out Alejandro Lavarante in 5. Cassius says 4 tonight for Archie Moore. We'll see. Meanwhile, Moore's comment to that is, it is quite true that Moore may fall in 4, but if he does, it will only be over the prostrate form of Mr. Clay. Up to ring announcer Jimmy Lennon.
Your attention, ladies and gentlemen. I ask you to stand, face our American flag, our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Jimmy Lennon, the ring announcer, who sang our national anthem, comes by his musical talent, for he is the uncle of the famous Lennon sisters. So we're just about ready to go here from the modernistic new Los Angeles Sports Arena, seating about 16,000 for boxing. Here the Los Angeles Hockey Blades of the Western Hockey League perform. The LA Basketball Lakers of the National Basketball Association. Big fights held here. The SC-UCLA basketball teams play here. And tonight, one of the big ones. Archie Moore has 3 regulars working with him in his corner tonight. Hiawatha Gray, Dick Sadler, and Richie Fulilove. Meanwhile, Clay will have his head trainer Angelo Dundee, Norm Lockwood, and Duke Holloway in his corner. Cut man apparently not necessary, since neither one of them are known to cut.
Good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is ring announcer Jimmy Lennon welcoming you to another great Olympic Boxing Club promotion presented by Cal Eaton, George Parnassus. Tonight's feature event, 12 rounds of boxing, a world's heavyweight title elimination contest. The next boxing show
at the Olympic Auditorium will be on a Saturday night, a nationally televised show, Saturday night, December 1st, featuring the great Irish Billy Collins of Detroit, and he will meet from Reynosa, Tamaulipas, Mexico, sensational Battling Torres. And on that card, boxing fans, will be another two great 10-round main events featuring two undefeated great Mexican boys. Introducing at this time, Chuy Pruneda. Chuy Pruneda will meet Jerry Stokes, and his stablemate, Apolonio Salinas, will meet Jose Sejudo. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in the ring, undisputedly the greatest of all featherweights, he is the champion of the world. A nice hand for Davy Moore. A former great welterweight boxing champion, a popular Los Angeles businessman, Jimmy McLarnin. Ladies and gentlemen, there will be two fine bouts to follow this big main event. And now I present to you at ringside a man who recently proved that he is the undisputed heavyweight boxing champion of the world. Come into the ring, Sonny Liston.
Very interesting that Liston should be given such an ovation. No boos that I can hear. This is first real, I believe, public test since winning the heavyweight championship to see how the public would accept him, and they have really accepted him here in Los Angeles tonight. Sonny Liston, a big hand leaving the ring, too.
Fans, here we go. This is the feature attraction, 12 rounds of boxing presenting heavyweights at the Bella regular time of Jack Smith. Ringside physicians in attendance, Dr. Jack Buseem, Dr. Robert Rock. Judging at ringside, we have George Latka and Lee Grossman. Your main event referee to give instructions following introductions is Tommy Hart. And at your television microphone, our popular ringside commentator, Jim Healy. Here we go, introducing to you, on my left from San Diego, California, wearing black trunks with a gold stripe, the light heavyweight champion of the world tonight as a full-fledged heavyweight at 197 pounds, the ageless wonder of boxing, Archie Moore. And boxing fans, on my right, fighting out of the black corner, wearing white trunks with a black stripe from Louisville, Kentucky, at 204 pounds, the undefeated, loquacious Cassius Clay. Here's your referee for instructions. May the better man win. All right, Cassius.
Over the instructions in the dressing room, so I won't belabor the point. All I'm going to say, be sure and give me a nice clean break. You're too large for me to be shoving off. All right, shake hands now, make a great fight.
All set for round number one, schedule 4-12. It'll be Cassius Clay in the white trunks. Archie Moore, Clay 4 inches taller, 7 pounds heavier. Clay with that edge and height and reach. His hands down dangerously. job of covering up. Extremely confident and nonchalant. Last overhand right, grazing Clay's chin. To go in the first round. Cassius Clay and White and Archie Moore. It is almost contempt Clay is showing for Moore. He is so nonchalant. Archie Moore, who threw very few punches in that round, spent most of the time blocking Clay's punches, and he blocked a good deal of them. Let us not presume on scoring for the officials, but for sake of argument, I think we're very safe there in saying Clay won a narrow edge in the first round. That Clay did win the first round. The California scoring system, in that case, we assume Moore was the loser. He gets no points. We assume Clay was the winner. It was a fairly close round. He never really hurt Moore, so he gets 1 point. Had it been more decisive for Clay, he would have got 2 points. No points for Moore. So that's your California scoring system. No points to either fighter if a round is even. No points to the loser. And all the way from 1 up to 5, depending on the decisiveness for the winner of the round. So, for example, presuming there that Clay won it narrowly, you would have Clay in front 1-0. Round 2 scheduled for 12. Cassius Clay and White, Archie Moore. Strategy to get down very low, and as a result, Clay is going high on almost all his punches. One minute gone, 2 to go in the second round. Remember now, Clay has boasted, and he meant it. He actually thinks he will knock out Moore in the 4th round. Seemed to hit 35 seconds to go in round 2. Because they think Clay is getting tired. I sort of doubt it. 10 seconds. Good right hand by Clay. Cassius Clay with trainer Angelo Dundee bending over in front of him. Norm Lockwood in the white shirt now ducking down out of range, and Duke Holloway leading through the ropes. Clay showing absolutely no respect or awe for the man who has knocked out more fighters than anyone in history. Archie Moore, of his 187 career wins against 25 losses and 7 draws, Moore has knocked out 135 men. That is a record. Meanwhile, Clay's percentage is not too bad. 15 fights, all wins. He has knocked out 12 of those 15. Only ones who went the distance against Clay were Tommy Hunsaker, lost the decision in 6. Duke Sabadon lost the decision in 10. Alonzo Johnson lost the decision in 10. Everyone else, including 5 this year, were knocked out. Round number 3, Archie Moore in black, Cassius Clay. Clay has been doing all the throwing so far, Moore most of the blocking. A few have got in. Remember now, Clay has said he will knock out Moore in 4. Good left high on the head by Moore, followed by a right, but Clay does not even appear fazed by the punches. Notice one thing about Clay, his hands appear so fast, he can throw a punch and miss it, and still wave the arm back and block Moore's next punch before it gets in with the same hand he had missed with. Corner, and Cassius holds on. Groggy, and Clay very cool, waiting for his spot. Cool for a 20-year-old. In fact, some ringsiders are wondering if Clay is actually backing off to wait for the 4th round to make his prediction come true. 10 seconds to go, and Moore is going to last the 3rd round. Archie Moore standing up. Trainer trainer Dick Sadler there with his back to you. Arch puts his glove around Sadler's shoulder, and he was groggy in that round. Referee Tommy Hart comes over. Hiawatha Gray with the spectacles bending through the ropes on the right. Been with Archie for many, many years. So Archie apparently pulling some psychology here. He's going to show the young fella he can still stay on his feet and stay there between rounds. But here's the part, and we mentioned it several times before because we thought this would be the dramatic part of the fight. Cassius Clay has said, and he has been right in 8 of his 10 knockouts before tonight, he would knock out Moore in the 4th round. This is the 4th round. Clay has said it so often, Moore is quite aware that this is the 4th too, and he's backing off a bit. Totters even under light punches. He is wobbling. Cassius anxious. He wants that prediction. Archie beat the count. Tommy Hart pushes Clay off. 2 knockdowns in the round. And it's all over. Tommy Hart stops the bout. Cassius Clay has done it again in about 1 minute and 30 seconds of the 4th round.
Boxing fans, 1 minute 35 seconds in the predicted 4th round. The winner by knockout, still undefeated, Cassius Clay.
Cassius, were you laying back a little in the 3rd round waiting for the 4th?
No, I wasn't laying around in the 3rd. Archie Moore is a great fighter. Archie Moore is a great fighter. And he did the best he could, as I have predicted. He must fall in 4.
Indeed,
and if you have witnessed it, you've seen he done fell in 4. Now I want Sonny listen, and he must fall in 8.
Cassius Clay, ladies and gentlemen. He had predicted it, and we made a big thing out of this throughout the build-up to the fight. That Cassius was not fooling, for earlier this year in bouts in Los Angeles, he had predicted that George Logan would fall in 4. He did fall in 4. He predicted this summer that Alejandro Lavarati would fall in 5. And tonight, that Archie Moore would fall in 4. Indeed, he did. All right, right now, we're going to run the knockout. See if we can get Cassius. We're going to show the last round on national television. We want you to describe it for us, if you would. This is the 4th and final round. Here comes Archie out of the corner. Did you notice he stood between the 3rd and 4th rounds?
Well, yes, I did notice that. There's nothing surprising about it, because you got to give it to Archie Moore. A man who stuck with me like that for 4 rounds is awful good, because there's not too many young fighters today to stay that long with me.
Cassius, now watch for it. Would you point out the first punch you really hurt him with here?
Well, it was a series of left hooks I really couldn't tell you. All I was concentrating on was round 4. Because if I should lose or don't back up my prediction, I'll have to leave the country because I talk too much. And as you see, Archie Moore's tired. I said this would be my easiest fight. The critics and the boxing experts called me crazy, but no one knows boxing better than I do. I've had 15 professional fights and predicted 11 of them a knockout. This makes the 12th one, and that's not luck. That's know-how and natural skill. Archie's a great fighter. He's my idol, as a matter of fact, and I told my trainer I hated to fight Archie.
Well, that was the first knockdown.
Yes, it was. And I was surprised to see him get up because I was hitting hard and regular. And now I'm ready for Sonny Liston. I'm going to be the youngest heavyweight champion in history.
Cassius, that was sort of a glancing blow off the glove, the last knockdown, was it not?
No, that was you can't tell because you didn't feel it. But that was, all of those punches were hard. I trained awful hard for this fight, and this is my big opportunity. So that's one reason I say I'm the greatest. I don't only tell you I'm going to win, I call around. And the sport arena's a sellout tonight, and there's 17,000, 18,000 people here to bear witness that I talk the truth.
Cassius, thank you very much. Congratulations. Well, indeed he did. Cassius Clay, and he talked nonstop there for about 3 minutes after the fight. I think he loves to talk more than he loves to fight. Now Jim Healy saying good night from the Los Angeles Sports Arena. From the Los Angeles Sports Arena, Smith Reiner Productions have presented the 12-round World's Heavyweight Title Elimination bout promoted by the Olympic Boxing Club, Cal Eaton promoter, George Parnassus matchmaker. This theater telecast has been produced by Paramount Television Productions. Cassius Clay, the winner, a knockout, 3 knockdown knockout, 1 minute 35 seconds of the 4th round tonight. Jim Healy, good night from Los Angeles, a production of the Paramount Television Productions.
Here's Clay entering the ring in Los Angeles, California. The good-looking young Clay tests the canvas. Here comes the marvelous gray-haired old man of boxing, Archie Moore, waving to the crowd, shaking hands with Cassius Clay. There's Kirk Douglas in the audience. And world heavyweight champion Sonny Liston takes a bow. Sonny walks across the ring to shake hands with Archie. A 43-year-old Archie Moore in black trunks moves across the ring to take on the dancing master, Cassius Clay. Cassius has predicted that he will knock out ageless Archie in 4 rounds. All of the newspaper people are wondering whether Clay can make his prediction come true. Archie Moore has been a professional fighter since 1936. That makes this the 26th year Archie has been thrilling ring audiences all over the world. Archie holds the all-time knockout record, previously held by young Stribling. 106 professional fighters failed to go the limit with this sharp-punching Archie Moore, a record that seems to be completely out of reach of future professional fighters. Clay moving well, boxing sharply. The brilliant young Cassius Clay won the 1960 National AAU and National Golden Glove heavyweight titles. In addition, he also won the Olympic light heavyweight crown that same year. Since turning professional 2 years ago, Clay has had 15 fights, winning them all, 12 by knockout. Moore has a sneaky right hand that can take any fighter out of there with one punch. Clay has to be very careful. And there's the end of round 1. In round 2, Moore is going to have to attempt to corner the endlessly moving young Cassius Clay. Clay seems very confident, taking pot shots at Archie Moore. Moore covering up. Moore weighed in at 191 pounds this evening. That's much heavier than the normal weight that Archie fights at. Those are stinging punches by Clay. Archie won the light heavyweight championship in 1952, 10 years ago, when he took a unanimous 15-round decision from champion Joey Maxim in St. Louis. Archie has defended the light heavyweight title 8 times, of which 7 of the challengers were flattened before the finish. A barrage of ripping punches by Clay. And there's the end of round number 2. Cassius Clay in white trunks seems to have taken over here in round 3. Cassius is pot-shotting. Young Clay has waded right into the middle of the leading heavyweight contenders by flattening the highly ranked Alex Mitev. Also, 4th-ranked Willie Bezmenov failed to go the distance with Clay last year. At the tender age of 20, Cassius Clay is serving notice to heavyweight champion Sonny Liston that there is a new and exciting bolt of lightning in the heavyweight division. It's all Clay here in round 3. Cassius seems to be playing with Archie. Sharp, stinging punches rock Moore. Moore's in trouble. Clay pouring it on here in round 3. Cassius seems to have the fight in complete control. And there's the end of round 3, a big Clay round. And this is the stanza Clay has predicted that he'd knock out Archie. He's been right in all of his predictions prior to this fight. Can Clay do it here in round 4? Sharp, stinging punches by Cassius Clay. Clay looking for that opening. Moore pressing forward, trying to get in that one big punch to take Clay out of there. Ripping punches by Clay, and Moore goes down. Cassius raises his hands over his head. Courageously, Archie gets to his feet. Moore is sent to the canvas again by a barrage of punches. For the second time, Archie gets to his feet to face the inevitable. Ripping punches by Cassius Clay, and it's all over. Clay wins by a 4th-round knockout, as predicted. It looks like this exciting 20-year-old is on his way to the heavyweight championship. This brilliant young heavyweight is serving notice to Sonny Liston that he thinks he's ready for a title shot. And here he tells the world. This contest will go into the record book as Archie Moore's last fight, bringing down the curtain on one of the most magnificent ring careers of all time.